What's up, Scrapyard? I hope you guys are all doing wonderful today. Today is Friday, TGIF. And again, hope you guys are all doing good today. Welcome to my next video. My name's Scrappy. I'm the #1 Loba if you're new here. I have 123,000 kills on console and close to 20,000 kills on PC with Loba strictly. Now, one question I've been asked more than anything is, Scrappy, how do I solo queue? I can never find teammates, therefore I'm a low rank, yada yada yada. Well, I'll try to be as fast as possible, but here are 10 quick tips on how to solo queue in Apex Legends Ranked. Without further ado, let's get it. Bam 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 bam. Welcome back. Tip number 1: pay attention to the damn map. My fault, guys. I got a little loud right there. I apologize. I just really get amped up on the subject. My fault, baby girl. But seriously, pay attention to that map. Not only is that map going to tell you where the next ring is, but if you pay close enough attention, you'll see some arrows on that map. Those arrows, for those that don't know, are your teammates. And this information can tell you when to push a team if your teammates are close to you, when to fall back from a team if your teammates are too far away from you. And overall, as you lead your team throughout the map, you want to make sure that they're at least within 50 meters from you. Do not venture too far off on your own. Even like myself, who plays super duper fast, when I'm solo queuing in ranked, I make sure I slow it down a bit. Most randoms won't be able to keep up with you if you move that fast. On the flip side, make sure you're keeping up with your teammates if you are the slow person on your team. Tip number 2. This should have been the first tip, but you should always assume the leader role on your team. You also need to assume that your teammates haven't got a clue what to do. And as a leader on your team, you need to be paying attention to things like the first tip. Pay attention to the bottom left of the screen, and you should always be looking at your teammates' health. It also tells you when your teammates are shooting at something, so maybe they haven't taken any damage yet, so if you're only looking at the health bar, you wouldn't know that they're in a fight, especially if they're far away from you. But you'll also see a visual cue every time they shoot their gun, and then that can tell you when you need to go fall back and support them, because probably they're in a fight, unless they're just shooting their gun into the air like it's 4th of July. As a leader of the team, you control the pace of the game for your teammates. So things that you need to be thinking about are, is this fight good to take? If we take this fight, what are the consequences? Could we third party this team? Would it be better if we just rotated instead? Do we have any kill points? And if so, to play it safe, would it be better if we just position ourselves for endgame? How are my teammates performing? Are they doing well or are they struggling in this lobby? And then you could devise certain strategies after that. If you're confident in your teammates, take more fights. If you're a little then maybe play it a little slower in third party teams. All in all, stay with your teammates. It's always strength in numbers. Tip number 3, pay attention to the kill feed or the obituary. This can give you some information on a nearby fight that can tell you whether or not you should third party that team. If you're pulling up on a fight and you see Bobby Jr. get a knock, and then a second later Bobby Jr. gets knocked, and then John gets another knock, so now it's a 2v1. At that point, more often than not, that's a third party that you want to push, and it's very easy to do even while solo queuing. Let those two teams weaken each other so much so that when you pull up to the fight, it's just easy cleanup. So paying attention to the kill feed can give you information about third-partying teams. Tip number 4, communicate with your teammates. Turn that damn mic on. This is something that I've talked about so many times. The reason that you're struggling with solo queue is probably because you're not communicating with your teammates. And I get it, I know. Randoms can be assholes. We've all experienced it many times. But don't let that shut you out from the rest of the community. Newsflash, a lot of these solo queuers are just like you. They want to vibe out and gain RP and gain higher ranks. Personally, when I'm solo queuing, I never communicate with my teammates to show you guys that it's possible to gain RP without talking. And I don't care how annoying it may be, but because I'm not openly, vocally communicating, and you could bet your sweet badonkadonk that if I need my teammates' attention, I'm spamming that ping a million times until I get my teammates' attention. And this is a very effective method for all of you guys that really don't want to talk to your teammates. Tip number 5, don't be afraid to make mistakes. And this stretches beyond solo queuing as well, but it's especially important for all you solo queuers out there. Solo queue in Apex is probably the hardest game that you could do that in. You're going to make mistakes, and your randoms are definitely going to make mistakes, but you can't let that change the pace and style of your gameplay. Some people are so afraid to take fights that they'll grab some sniper rifles, go hang up on the highest point of World's Edge, and camp there the entire game with 0 KP all game. This is not an effective way to solo queue. This is not an effective way to play this current rank system. You need kills to gain consistent RP. That's just how this rank system is designed. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, including myself, it's a little irritating. If it matters to you guys enough, record a couple of your games so you can watch them back later and realize what kind of mistakes you made and then learn from it. Tip number 6, please take fights off rip. Us pros use a term for this known as 50-50ing. This is when you and another team land at the same POI in the same general area. Fight it out within the first minute of the game. This is something that I want you guys to start practicing if you haven't done it already. But if you do start practicing it and it's not going well and you're losing a lot of RP, then stop it, go somewhere else, land alone, take your time to loot, and then push a third party after that. But getting kills off rip is so important for solo queuing. It takes the pressure off of you. Since the entry cost for diamond rank and every other rank is not that much, you only need about 2, 3, 4 kills per game and a consistent top 5 placement to gain 100 plus RP every game. So if you can get those 2 to 3 kills off rip and spend the rest of the game either picking apart third parties from long range or simply waiting until end game to get some more kills, at that point it becomes very easy to climb the ranks as a solo queuer. Because one thing you'll notice about this current rank system is that the lobbies die out extremely quick in diamond lobbies and in other lobbies as well. Most of the time, by round 2 closing, you'll have about 6, 7 squads alive. And with a few KP at that point, you're already going positive. And that's within the first 10 minutes of the game. It doesn't take that long to start going positive with only a couple KP in this current rank system. So start to become more comfortable with taking fights off rip. Tip number 7 for all you solo queuers out there, in this current rank system, you need to be playing some sort of movement legend. This is the most fast-paced meta Apex has ever seen. And as a solo queuer, if you're playing some troll pick like Gibby, Rampart, Lifeline, etc., you're going to get rolled. I don't care that you might like this character or this character is your main. If you're struggling with solo queuing ranked and you're playing some troll legend, get rid of that legend and move to a more movement-based legend. Loba, for example, is the best solo queue legend that you could play, and I recommend her over everybody. She has movement to escape third parties or to get out of crazy situations, and she has her ultimate to get you and your teammates loot without even needing to fight teams. Of course, other good ones are Pathy, Octane, Horizon, etc. Anybody with movement. Tip number 8, be comfortable with being in Storm as a solo queuer. And again, this is kind of more general for everybody as well. But a lot of the time, I see a lot of low ranked players that are so afraid of being in Storm. I know it does a lot of damage and it depletes all of your resources. But a lot of the time, Storm is going to be your friend up until round 3. If you have heat shields, you can survive just fine in round 3 Storm. And you would want to be in Storm in order to avoid a certain fight, to rotate a long way around to get you a better spot in, third ring or something like that. Or to simply let the lobby kill itself out. And of course this goes without saying, but you have to be carrying heat shields. 2 heat shields for one teammate and another, and then maybe a mobile respawn beacon for your third teammate. Tip number 9 involves positioning. Fortunately, in this current rank system, you don't really have to worry about your end game positioning too much. But again, like I said, as a solo queue leader of your team, you have to be wary of your positioning within a fight. Because again, if you are that leader of your team, your randoms will be following you like a lost puppy. So if you position yourself poorly within a fight and your teammates are following you, then all of you guys are screwed, if that makes sense. So when I solo queue and I'm positioning my team for a fight, I always position myself to have an easy escape route on my backside flank. So that means I very rarely pinch myself within 2 teams, and I'll often keep me and my teammates about 20-30 meters away from an enemy fight, and I'll do what I can to get that entry knock. And once you or your teammates are able to get that entry knock, then it's go time. But again, you must always be keeping your head on a swivel, because with this rank system, you're going to get third party 99% of the time. And that's why I always position myself with an escape route in mind. And lastly, tip number 10, don't be an asshole to your randoms, and subscribe to me if you like this content. If you guys would like more of this commentary content, then go ahead and leave a comment down in the comment section. Of course, if you didn't know, I stream live on Twitch every single day. My Twitch is named Scrappy, and I'd love to meet more of you guys. Best of luck. I'll see you guys next time. Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam